Another big main event in Charlotte over the weekend. The Savannah Bananas brought a little potassium pandemonium to Bank of America Stadium. Now, they were supposed to play just one game at the home of the Panthers and Charlotte FC, but they sold out so fast. You see the crowd. They had to add a second night for the first time on this world tour. Now, we saw some dancing umpires. We saw a 15-foot tall pitcher throwing some strikes on stilts. And then we also saw some Carolina legends getting in on the fun. We got Luke Kuechly throwing out the first pitch. And then we see the former tight end great Greg Olsen tapping into play and ending at first base, donning the full yellow banana jersey, looking like a natural out there. And then we also saw Jonathan Stewart score at Bank of America Stadium for the first time in 8 years. Now, it was a run and not a touchdown, but semantics. Still a very cool moment for Keep Pounding Nation and a great weekend for sports in Charlotte.
It was an amazing experience. The energy that the Savannah Bananas and the party animals brought tonight, it reminded me something similar of a Panther game. So it was fun. The adrenaline was there. I don't know if you saw how, I took it in when I came out the first time, and then when I scored, it felt like I scored a touchdown in a Panther football game. So it was cool, man.
But you see all the players, all the fans in Bananas gear and Party Animals gear and decked out and just excited for the show. It's special how far it's come. And, the crazy thing is I believe we're just getting started.
I mean, look, I'm blown away, Cam. You were there. You got to see how electric it was, how Bank of America Stadium was packed, not just one night, but back-to-back nights. Look, this isn't a knock on the Panthers. This is not a knock on Charlotte FC, but that stadium hasn't been rocking like that in quite some time. I love the fact that they included some Panthers in there. I love the fact that Greg Olsen was a part of it, Luke Kuechly, Stewart. They were all a mix and match of part of it. But to me, the thing I take away from this is what this city has, not only as a major city in the United States, but one that brings the top level attractions like the Savannah Bananas. That's number one. And then number two, imagine if that sea of banana yellow is Carolina Panther blue. Imagine if it's donning Charlotte FC colors. This city, these fans are hungry for entertainment. They're hungry for sports, and for our Panthers, for Charlotte FC, for any team that plays here in the Carolinas, that's what it can be. The Savannah Bananas showed what can happen when you got a good product on the field, and they have a heck of a product on the field. So now let's just change the colors and make it our hometown team.
And it's just cool to see Charlotte kind of being the place where it really, blossomed, I guess. Because the Bananas on this little world tour they've been selling out MLB stadiums. They've been selling out other NFL stadiums in different markets, but this was the one where there was such a demand immediately they had to add the second night. They haven't done that at all. This is the only stop on the Bananas World Tour that has had to add a second night because of the demand. So this thing has become a nationwide phenomenon, but for Charlotte to really have that appetite and that hunger like you were talking about, it was really cool to see. And again, it was the yellow, not the Panther blue, but to see 148,000 fans, I believe, across 2 nights, pack out the stadium. They were singing the songs, they were doing the dances, they knew the players. The Bananas are doing something really cool and special, and it was neat to see Charlotte really kind of hone in and be a part of that.
It's great for the city of Charlotte, and it's great to see how this idea of baseball, entertainment, musical show, whatever you want to call it, has blossomed into what it has blossomed.
And you talk about the blossoming real quick before we transition here. It actually started in Gastonia.
That's
the owner of the Bananas, Jesse Cole, we've talked about this a couple of times. He owned the Gastonia Grizzlies for a decade. They were also doing some singing and dancing. They were doing the gimmicks with the fans, and it took them moving to Savannah for it to really catch on. But the wheels started turning. The seeds were planted right down the road in Gastonia. So Jesse was saying that super cool to now see it come full circle back at Bank of America Stadium. They were having trouble selling out in Gastonia, and now they sold out back-to-back nights in the biggest stadium in North Carolina. So that's a really cool moment to see how the local ties kind of influenced the show we saw.
It's fantastic to see, and it also confirms that here in the Queen City, there's an appetite for entertainment, there's an appetite for sports, and there's an appetite for a winner. And if we go to the